So y'all really seem to enjoy my net spend concert story, so I'm here to continue the underground and overweight chronicles with this Ken Carson story. I'm going to be talking about some lessons I learned and what it was like being, the biggest chungus with the most aura there. Also, fat is kind of like becoming my brand. I'm really not too huge. I'm kind of like 310 pounds, which might sound insane, but I think I wear it okay. Phew, look at me already coping. Anyhow, just hope this provides some decent second monitor content for you. Throw me on the side here and or watch this legendary Resident Evil 4 gameplay. There was no comments at all about how bad I am on the last video. So let's get started with this Ken Carson story, shall we? I go to work on an average Wednesday. No expectations above mediocrity for the day, right? And that's when I'm hit with the most beautiful Instagram post. Ken Carson. A Great Chaos Tour announcement, pre-sale at 10 a.m., right on time for coffee break, which for me is a second breakfast. Am I right, guys? Because I'm fat as fuck. I'm being way too chalant for an opium story, so I'm gonna have to cool it down a little bit. So break time rolls around, and I'm giddy. I head on over to everyone's favorite site, Ticketmaster, pay my fair and respectable asking price for 2 tickets. Only a day's pay, which is something light, After receiving my confirmation for my ticket, I proceed to call my homie, and our conversation goes something like this.
Let's get straight to it.
It's integral I include this canon event that happens 3 weeks before the concert. I'm on Discord one night with a homie sharing some music. Not the same friend that's already going with me to the concert, a different one, right? I'm showing him some underground rap, he's showing me some hyperpop. Name a more iconic duo. And that's when on my recommended tab I see this. My boy proceeds to shriek like a BTS fan watching Sanwoo flip his hair or some shit. I don't know. I don't know anything about BTS. Is BTS even the name of the band? I don't even know. It's like some sort of Korean acronym. Anyways, I ask him, what's with all this enthusiasm, bro? We're supposed to be nonchalant. He says,
you need to hear this.
And that's when it happened. I heard Two Hollis for the first time. We proceed to go down the Greenspore Valley White Tiger rabbit hole, and bro became my favorite artist at that time. And at the time, it was completely unrelated to the rest of the story because we didn't know that Two, short for Two Hollis, was opening for Ken. And spoiler, Two Hollis is announced as the opener for Ken Carson 1 week before his tour, and my city is the first show. If you're someone that isn't into the same music sphere as like me and the people that are be interested in watching this are, like you probably just find this shit corny. But if I told my dad, it's like, Dad, this is like if Ozzy Osbourne like linked with Metallica type shit. It's like if Prince linked with Michael Jackson. Let that sink in or whatever, like it's like that level, it's like just this amount of iconicness for today's day and age. I don't think it really gets more.
Stop it. Get some help.
So this third homie of mine, the hyperpop guy, needs that. He gets his last minute ticket and the Underground Avengers have assembled. Let me just say, I'd hate to be the guy that messes with us. So the day is June 7th. I don't actually remember the day, but June 7. Sorry. You might want to buckle up for this section because this chapter does get a little intense. No trigger warnings necessarily needed, besides maybe loss of alcohol and intensity. Yeah, I work my shift with sheer anticipation for the night to come. I pick up my first friend, who we'll call V-Lone for this story. This is the guy that originally was coming with me to the concert, so that's V-Lone, because he wears V-Lone. We hit the liquor store because the pharmacy ran out of Walkhart, and I am not sipping green, bro. We do not sip Kermit. So we acquire our elixirs of choice. As we pull up to my place for the pregame, like clockwork or poetry in motion, the third Avenger arrives in his Uber. We'll call him Twink for this story. Not because he wears Twink, but because he likes hyperpop. We get our pregame on, we're listening to some Ken, chilling, smoked up, talked about 2016, the usual. We proceed to call our Uber, and the city I was living in had very fast Uber response times. You order it and it's there in about 3 minutes. As our Uber is confirmed, me and Twink realized something awful. We did not put V-Lone on Two Hollis during this entire pregame. We knew how much time we had and could only play him one song, so we chose the most powerful. Jeans. It goes as you might imagine. Pure serenity fills the room as we watch V-Lone ascend into manhood. Everything is complete. V-Lone ended up liking Jeans so much and the music video because he has like the M1 Garand in the shower and shit. Like it was like he was tripping. He's like, wow, I can't believe I've lived this long without seeing this, you know? And so he needed one more song, and we figured if we showed him Trauma, that's just exactly where we need to end off this pregame. And so we play Trauma, and that was his introduction into like hardstyle as well. So we are beyond ready for this concert, dude. We are beyond. In my NetSpend story, I mentioned how bad I needed to pee in the Uber. Not like pee specifically in the Uber, but the need for a pee manifested in the Uber, right? I would have gone anywhere. But anyways, most nights out with Twink, he is the one who needs to pee once or twice on the way to the function. And some things don't change. Twink pregame's a little hard in this economy, so his bladder was facing the consequences. Long story short for this, there wasn't any washroom access in the area that we were driving through, but for Twink, it was now or never. So we said, Gagan Deep, that was our Uber driver's name, we need to pull over immediately. Gagan pulls over, and Twink and Velone relieve themselves all over this poor building. I normally wouldn't leave such a disgusting, little, or just a seemingly needless segment of the story in if it wasn't for the karma I believe we received because of it. So we get to the venue, Twink, Velone, and Aura Chud. And by the time we get there, it is pouring rain. This is the karma I mentioned. I believe, they peed on the building and God decided to pee on us. So it's pouring rain, and the lineup goes further down than I've ever seen for a show at this venue. So we're walking down a lineup that looks like people are waiting up to sign up to be the next Grim Reaper. Not a single color in sight, not even an ounce of white on these kids' outfits. It's just blacked out, bedazzled cyber sigil phenomena everywhere. And I respect it, man. We're at the Ken show, and we're also blacked out like a phantom. Loki caught my SD Kid reference. And I pointed my finger up in the air when I said that. Maybe I should just end it all right now. The lineup proceeds off the property and onto a pathway going through some trees. Like, we are getting out of bounds with it. But we figured we should just keep following the line of souls until we find our rightful place at the end. The line gets skinnier and skinnier as well, so by the time we're at the end, we've been walking for about 5 minutes straight, which might not sound insane, but it kind of is. So we're there, we're like, damn, dude, doors are going to open in a few minutes or, half an hour, whatever it was. Like, we weren't early, but we weren't late, and we're just like, okay, are we going to sit here standing in this rain, or are we going to figure out some sort of solution to get inside quicker? So I pulled out the old reliable strat. This was Velone's first concert, like ever, like a first rap, like general admission concert. And for Twink, he's like somewhat new to them. So I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have Velone stay right here where we are, hold this spot in case this doesn't go well. And me and Twink are going to go up ahead and look for people we may know and see if we can jump in line with them. And if that doesn't work, we're going to see if we can just aura farm our way into a spot next to an unsuspecting victim's spot in line. So me and Twink sit our way back through the embodiment of gender dysmorphia and geek bars. After not finding anybody that we know, we thought we saw a few familiar faces and then realized it was just a black guy. I'll cut that out. No, I won't. So then it was time to look for a friendly victim.
So we find this one guy.
And we said, this guy's got a smile on, you can tell he put his best little outfit together. He's just trying to be friendly, and he looks like he's alone. Let's just go say what's up to him. See if he wants to maybe let us stand in line. We got a 20 bill on us. Let's just, we can offer him some cash to stand here next to him. And so we go up to him, and we're like, hey, man. He's like, hey, what's up? What's up? It's like, holy shit. It's like one of those NPCs from Oblivion that's just like super happy to see you. He's like, buy the nines, so glad you've arrived. We're like, hey man, we were just wondering if we could toss you a little cash and maybe stand next to you here in line because it's really wet back there and it's really dry in there. And he's like, yeah, dude, like, well, of course you can. We can even pretend like we know each other. And I was like, oh, dude, that sounds good. And instantly I go into character, right? Because I'm a natural born comic. I'm mom's little comedian or whatever. And so I'm like, yeah, dude, you remember the sleepovers from back in the day, bro? This guy used to get so wild. He used to put on like Mr. Nightmare and shit. Immediately, like, crowd working. Because other people obviously heard us to offer him cash and are not happy if anyone steps in line, even though this crowd is like 16 people wide. 2 of us aren't going to really make a difference, except I count for like 2.5 people. But whatever. So we get so caught up in this storyline that we're faking that I forgot to call Velone and say, bro, get up here. And so by the time we get to almost the security check-in, I'm like, oh shit, I missed a couple calls from Velone checking in on where we are. Velone, if you're watching this, I know you are. I'm sorry about that, bro. So I'm like, oh my God, I answered the next phone call. I'm like, bro, you got to get up here. You got to run. We're in here. And so I just hear him on the phone. He's like, oh shit, yeah, I'm coming. He's like, boom, boom, hustling, bustling, going through. I hear the splashes, like his phone's disconnecting, getting covered in water. That's not true. I'm just painting a picture. Was it intense? Did you get involved in the story when I said that? Anyway, V-Lone pulls up on us out of breath, and he's like, oh, you fuckers. Like, I can't. Oh, come on, man. And so we are reunited once again. Twink, V-Lone, Orachud, and this new guy who we won't give a nickname because we lose him like right away. He played his role, and I appreciate that. We also all forgot about the $20, so we kept it, and it was lit. When V-Lone finally catches his breath, he hits us with a dark reality check, and he says, dude, the cops are taking people's geek bars. Absolute blasphemy, am I right? And so we have joints on us, geek bars, whatever it is. And not only that, but I was then informed that Twink had kept the fire on him, like liquor, not like a gun. He kept the liquor from pregame in his belt, like by his shit, you know? Because he thought that after the concert, we might just part ways, and he didn't want to have to go back to my place to get it. So he had that on him as well, and cops are taking stuff from the lineup. So we're like, okay, we gotta just like get rid of this stuff right now. But we're at the point where we're walking through like the guardrails. We're like one of the next few people to get up. So we take turns standing in between each other, away from all eyes, to try and hide shit in our shoes. Like I have like some fat DCs on that are untied because that's just that kind of timing I'm on. I stuff our amenities in there, but the only thing left is the alcohol that Twink had on him. So boom, we're about to go into the official venue now. We are inside. We've passed the first checkpoint, scanner tickets. Now we're going through what is like airport security. We got liquid detectors. We got to walk through them bitches. My boy Twink has liquid on him. This is really lining up to not be ideal. No pun intended. That's my channel name if you didn't notice. Not ideal. Subscribe and like. What happens is I believe the luckiest sequence of events someone could have happen for a night of this caliber, right? So there's so much on the line here. We're going to see two Hollis and Ken Carson. It's a Great Chaos Tour, and it's two Hollis's like pop-out tour, breakout tour, whatever. What happens is I say, V-Lone, you go ahead and get yourself inside. I'm going to hang out and make sure Twink can get in. And if there's any issues, we're going to find a way. V-Lone goes through, scans all his stuff. He makes it through. It's then Twink's turn to go through, right? So Twink goes up through the scanner. Beep, beep, beep. Can you make sure your pockets are all empty? Everything is empty. Make sure you're all good. He's like, yeah, sure. Takes out everything, you know. He pulls out wallet, keys, phone, lighter. Puts it all on the table. Walks through again. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, shit. We have a problem. Houston. That whole quote. And so then they start patting him down, right? They're like, what's this right here? You know, and they're grabbing like kind of right by my boy's junk, but you got to do what you got to do. And he pulls out the alcohol bottle, and I just see him look at the security guard, and they both look at each other. He's holding the Mickey of fucking Smirnoff in his hand. What happens is that he puts it on the table on one side of the scanner, right? And then the security guard moves it from that one basket to the other side of the scanner. And because we're kind of delaying the line, a cop comes over. There's a bunch of cops there, right? This is like a big deal show, I guess. Just a bunch of badass kids, and it's not even net spend. But anyway, so they take frickin' my buddy's liquor to the other side, and the cop comes over because we're holding up the line. And he says, hey, what's the commotion here? And the security guard says, well, he had this liquor on him. And he says, well, did you touch it and put it in the bin and like move it over? And he says, yes, I did. And he says, well, now we cannot be like legally liable to hold it against him that he had this liquor. It's like just like this big legal way of basically saying we can't really punish him for that or say he did because you've now touched it, you've moved it. And that was a sheer blessing from God, man, because he was scot-free after that. He's like, okay, you can go ahead. You got nothing else. He walked through the scanner again, and we are now inside the venue. I pull up behind him. I scan, no problem. I didn't have any liquids or anything on me, so I was chilling. And now we are in the venue about to witness two Hollis and Ken Carson. So you've done it. You've made it to the last chapter of this video. I want to thank you so much for if you have made it this far. I'm really trying to work on like retention for this and making the story engaging. But sometimes I can just ramble off. So hopefully you've had that campfire vibe that I'm going for. If not really campfire, I'm trying, man. I can't throw out 100 jokes a minute and all that stuff. So I just appreciate your presence if you're still around. And if you're not, then you're not hearing this and it's irrelevant. We finally got in the venue. Vibes immaculate. The day has come and the show's going to start soon. So we get a drink, we gather up around the crowd, and we discuss just what the plan is. Twink says, dude, the moment Two Hollis is on stage, I'm going to crawl through this crowd and try to touch his abs and maybe kiss him if I can. So we let him, go with that plan. And me and Vilone are just going to kind of vibe throughout the night, go to different sections, go hang out on the floor in some mosh pits, and then maybe go up and chill and try to get a good view of the performance. This venue is really awesome because it has like bleachers on the side, so everything is just free roam when you're in there. And yeah, so basically we can just get right into it. Two Hollis is coming on stage now. The lights dim, everyone's cheering. They're like,
Ken, fuck my ass.
or whatever. But we know that Two Hollis is coming out beforehand. So Two comes out. And the first song is Jeans. I'm saying it with the biggest smile on my face. It was something unlike I've ever experienced before. Just
On me, only cause Tudor speeds. Love me.
and everyone's just like, hey. But he was the first show of the tour, so no one really knew who he was. It was like the videos from that show that I was at that started blowing up, and everyone's like, oh shit, Two Hollis. But because I already knew, man, I was screaming bar for bar, just put your body on my jeans. People were like, yo, who is this guy? I was like, it's Two fucking Hollis. It was an unbelievable experience. I ran into someone I knew from high school while screaming Jeans. And it was like, oh shit, what's up? Like craziness, right? I feel like I need music in this part just because it's the end game, man. We did it. All the trials and tribulations led us to this very moment. So Two Hollis has his set. It was an absolute banger of a time. We have lost Twink. It is, so over, but we're so back at the same time. And so now it's time for me and Vilone to enjoy the Ken Carson portion of the show. Ken comes out. What the fuck? Yeah, and we were also saying that like during the pregame and shit too. Just what the fuck? Because we've seen previous shows of his where he says it. So all of a sudden smoke fills the room. Just what the fuck comes out. I think he plays like Sydney Sweeney or something like that. And we didn't see him the entire night because there was so much smoke on the freaking stage that you literally can't see bro up on the stage. He's like up on some rafter things and he's just doing his performance and completely enshrouded. So we go up to the bleachers off to the side and we can get an angle on him where we can see him behind the smoke. So for some songs we had to get in the pit, right? And then for some songs we had to go on the side and just kind of see. So there was it was a mixture of just different, either you choose to see Ken or you choose to jam out with the crowd. And it was a perfect mixture of both of those things. I gotta say, probably gotta be one of the best concerts I've been to. I got a few more concert stories I could tell that are like basically underground. Yeet, Osama-san, both with like their own interesting moments. So before I make this video like way too long, even though it already is, I want to thank you so much for watching. Ken was peak. Shout out Vilone, shout out Twink, and shout out you, the viewer, if you made it this far, especially. My God, it's a long video of my voice. Let me know what you want to see as far as, stuff in the future, maybe my butt, maybe my feet, who knows. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.